You're the superior race.
When you turn
That's the
on,
same problem.
No, it's not the same problem because he wasn't the superior race. Having to murder everybody and steal from them to make you superior is not superior. That makes you an animal.
That's right.
See, what you're confused about is what you have been experiencing. So what the world is seeing is madmen and murderers staking claim to something that they are really not.
That's right.
Because even after centuries of slavery, everybody is benefiting from the inventions that the slaves made, who had their language stripped, their identity stripped. You're saying here we go because you don't care.
You keep saying identity stripped. It says nothing in the Bible about that.
Holding. It says nothing
about taking your culture back and all this stuff.
It doesn't say that in the Bible.
But then,
are you sure?
What is it?
Are you sure it doesn't say that in the Bible?
I'm not sure.
Well, how can you make? You make a lot of statements
because you keep talking about culture.
On Westboro.
Right. This is why we gotta love one another. So what the brother said something to you ain't like, forgive that brother. So what that brother stuffed on your toe? What you gonna kill him for that?
Not unallowing your brother is behavior, bro.
Man, here's something wrong.
Palestinians that was built slaves unallowed. When Santa Claus was unallowed.
Just to make it known. Steady, ready, better watch your tone. I was 5'7", I was breaking. I had a 5'7", now I want the chrome. 9'11", I was in my zone. Used to argue in the Lucy Dome. Who ain't no running up. Damn, now I'm coming up. They coming to kiss me, you dumb or what? You draw, you done enough. They told me don't rush it, just wait my time. Paying attention, I see the sign. Coming right to me like Amazon. No time for distractions, I'm on the grind. Little shorty, you sick and she knows she fine. Got a couple of so never mind. They throwing the shade cause they know I'm shy.
You better open this Bible. You better come back here and learn what it really says, because guess what? The people you've been learning the Bible from, they've been lying to you.
But if it don't, then you're gonna have to hit them in place. If I can say. Go ahead.
Yeah. Here's where a lot of the confusion comes in. Because you're able to speak from such a safe place of centuries of privilege, off of centuries.
My dad's from Haiti. Yeah, my dad's from Haiti.
But when you were asked, you said I'm Asian. You didn't claim
because I'm majority Asian.
Oh,
yeah.
But now that it's convenient, your dad's Haitian.
Yeah, but just like first you were Asian, black people say the same thing. Steph Curry, Obama is black. He's half white. Obama's black. The majority is what you call yourself.
And when it's cool, now
it's not cool. It's not. You guys made it uncool. If you think being black people is being a victim all the time, it's not cool.
Of being able to pretend that you're not the children of the slaves.
I'm not. Who's pretending?
When we first started, you said I'm Asian.
For brevity's sake.
And
for brevity's sake. If you want me to describe everything, I can.
Just because you speak louder doesn't make your point.
Okay,
that's right.
We do this.
I'm not afraid of my ethnicity. I'm very open about this stuff.
You seem like
my dad is half black, half white. My mom's Filipino.
You can't be half, according to God.
Okay, so now I can't be half. This is why you say Asian, because you guys like you saying you can't claim half.
Because a second ago.
Okay, so now I'm black.
Okay, and then you said you were Asian.
Okay, so black man, a black man. I don't. Sure, I don't experience any racism. I don't experience any racism in America.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, for the rest of your people, that it seems like you have a blind eye to, Mr. Haitian man.
Can you tell me some of the racism? What do you see?
I'll tell you. Have you seen the news? They're eating the dogs in Ohio. They're eating the dogs. Have you seen the dogs getting eaten?
Yeah, and I heard the 911 call.
You heard the 911 call about dogs getting eaten?
They're eating the dogs and the cats.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Do you know Haitian history?
Me?
Of course.
Oh.
He does. He's Haitian.
You do?
Yeah.
You know the history of what happened?
Does he have a mouth? Of course.
You do? What happened to Haiti?
They killed the slave owners in 1804 to some of
They killed the slave owners. You don't talk like a Haitian man, brother. They killed the slave owners?
Yes.
How do you become a slave owner?
You buy slaves.
How do you get slaves?
The black people sell them to you in Africa.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So, Africans sold the Jews that migrated to the west coast of Africa when we fled from our homeland in the 70 AD destruction. You got to learn your history, Haitian brother.
What did I get that was wrong?
You got that was wrong because Africans are not black people.
Right,
they themselves would tell you.
So Africans aren't black people.
They don't teach their children about the transatlantic slave
Africans aren't black people?
You repeated exactly what I said.
Africans aren't black people.
Africans are not the children of the slaves or the Negroes or the Jews.
What are Africans?
They are a completely different set of their own ethnic groups of people. All dark-skinned people aren't the same.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand? The planet is covered in dark-skinned people outside of Europe. And you can once I'm done, because we teach. Hold your peace, brother. The planet is covered in dark-skinned people.
Sure.
All of those dark-skinned people do not ascribe to being Africans. They are not ethnically the same in East India. They're not the same in the Polynesian Islands.
So would you accept an African
in Africa? And the actual ethnic Asians, not the ones that the British told everybody to put on TV.
So you wouldn't accept an African in your group?
They're not one of us.
Okay.
Do you see that?
You see,
this is about family.
Sure.
And you have what it seems like a confusion about who your family is.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Because you started Asian, then you're Haitian, now you're half white. Now you're going to jump.
You just said I'm not Asian.
You said you're Haitian.
You're blaming me for the confusion.
I'm blaming you for the words that you said out of your mouth.
You realize
because we got witnesses and it's recorded.
You know,
now, here's what you should have
said. To most
said.
people, when they hear you talk about this person's not black and this person's not Asian, and then we're the children of Israel, and these are God's chosen people.
Most people Latinos and Native Americans.
Most people see identity politics where people are trying to focus
very important.
on something that makes them special, and they try to find themselves in a victim situation, and they don't really want to elevate. They don't really want to find a solution.
You know how do you elevate?
They want to be in a victim mindset forever.
Is the slave a victim?
Yes.
Is the children of slaves victims?
Sure, yeah.
So, are we not the children of slaves? Haitian?
At a certain point, move on.
Move on. Forget about it.
At a certain point, the victim mindset.
Still remember 9/11?
Of course,
they do.
Time to move on.
It's time to move on.
Time to move on.
9/11 don't matter anymore.
They lied a lot. They lied a lot about.
Did they remember the Alamo?
Do
they remember Vietnam?
The point is,
Korea.
You talk about
it sounds like you haven't actually been through some actual danger.
That's besides the point.
It's very much the point. You speak with a lot of privilege, pretending to not be a
privilege.
Haitian man.
Privilege. You're a victim. I get it. Okay.
No, my people are victims. You don't love your people. We love our people.
Great.
But am I wrong for loving my people?
You believe in mental slavery.
I believe in physical.
Do you believe in mental slavery?
Economic, psychological
slavery.
All of those things.
Do you realize victimizing yourself is a form of mental slavery? If you want to get rid of the shackles, then stop thinking that everybody's out to get you. You're going to start seeing it in places that didn't exist before.
It would seem like that's a wonderful thing to say, that everybody is not out to get you and you should move on.
Yes.
However, when Sonia Massey dialed 911, she didn't realize.
You could bring up in one example of everything. You could say Derek Chauvin. You could bring up Jordan Neely.
It's funny
you
to you
any example
because you don't identify with what's happening. We're looking at your face. We're looking at your mannerism. We listen to how you speak. You seem to have dismissed yourself.
Is ridiculous.
It's not a mindset when someone executes you in your kitchen. That's not your mindset.
Who's executing you right now? Where's the racism right now?
The racism?
Right here, yeah, where is it?
It's institutionalized. How much time does it got?
Where is it?
What language are we speaking?
Speaking the English.
Just answer the question.
So why don't you go back to Haiti? If you don't want to speak the white man's tongue, why don't you go to Haiti?
I speak several languages.
So why are you in America?
Because my people were victims and carried into slavery, Haitian man.
So
why are you in America?
So your existence in America is because your ancestors were victims?
If my ancestors were not kidnapped and brought to the land of our captivity,
so go back.
We would be in our homeland.
So go back then.
See, here in America, you seem to be very privileged and confused about how the world really works.
Like 5 times, yeah.
I did because you don't understand.
You have Haiti's not that expensive.
You can't pack up and leave America as an American citizen.
Yes, you can.
You ever heard of a passport?
You heard of a passport? You can renounce your passport. You have to pay the IRS anymore.
They come and retrieve you for leaving the country.
Okay, then pay taxes. You'll still make more money in the States.
You told me I should just up and roll out. Now I got to pay taxes.
Well, if you don't like to be in a place of racism and you're a victim here,
why would I leave a place that my forefathers built?
Because you're a victim here, and there's racism everywhere.
So should I leave or should I get justice for my people?
Right. Okay, so your whole existence is justice. When is it time to live for yourself and for your people?
Getting justice is living for my people.
How are you going to get justice?
I'm going to get justice by first fixing my people. The first step
How are you going to fix your people?
That's an excellent question. The first step to fixing my people is giving our people a different identity from the people who enslaved us.
And what's that identity? Jews?
That identity that is according to the not becoming. We are born with an identity.
So now you're
chosen confused people. About your identity.
So
I see that.
The way to fix your people is to become God's chosen people.
Give us our identity. Being God's chosen people gives you a heritage.
You know the funny thing?
Gives you a language.
Blame the Jews for the Atlantic.
I blame a lot more people than just the Jews. Okay. Everybody had a hand.
You blame them, but then you want to become them. So why are you embodying the same mindset?
If you break in my house and steal my family records and change your name to my family name, and then you get the benefits of my house, my land, my identity, my records, my culture, and you rise to the top of power internationally. And then the children of the people that you stole from are left to figure it out. And then you say, that's not racism. We should leave it in the past. It's 2025.
That's a better, if racism does exist everywhere, holding on to that mental slavery is not going to achieve anything.
How is it mental slavery if I return to the records of my forefathers? Everybody else in America says I'm an Asian American because that's where their forefathers established themselves. The Africans say, I'm an African American. Then they can go to Africa and tell you what part of Africa their forefathers come from.
Well, if you're,
their language, their
you're
culture,
Jewish,
their
right?
tongue. No, I'm the Jew.
Why don't you go to Israel?
Jew by blood.
So why don't you go to
the
Israel?
real biblical
Isn't
ethnic
Israel
Jew.
your
Because
homeland?
another criminal is living in my home.
So is that your ultimate goal, to take Israel for black people?
My ultimate goal is to take the world. Because that's
You
what
want to
our
conquer the
Father
world?
promised us.
Okay. You want to take over
There
the
you go.
world. And then
And I'm
people
going to start by giving my people
You'll get
our
angry at
identity
people like
back.
Hitler and the Nazi
No,
ideology,
those
and they
are white
conquer
men.
the world.
Those are white men. We're not white men.
So you're embodying the same Nazi
That's a lie.
ideology that you're.
That's
it's the
not only
same
is that a
thing.
lie, but to compare that is racist.
That's right.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Here we go again. Everything's
Here we go
racist to
again.
you. How is
for
that
a
racist?
Haitian man? You sure do talk a lot like a white man.
How is that racist? If you want to conquer the world and make it ethnocentric to your people, that's
said that?
being a black Nazi.
How
That's
is that a
taking this-
Nazi? Nazis committed hate crimes. Nazis tortured people.
Okay,
They
so if
castrated
you're going to
people. They
conquer the world as a
castrated
black person, what are you going to do to every other race?
That's an excellent question. I'm going to make sure that their own people don't rape and exploit them.
Okay, but
I'm going to make
how?
sure that their own people don't starve them.
How are you going to do that?
The same way it says in the Bible. When Christ returns, he's going to be the King of kings and Lord of lords. And everyone will be under his authority.
So that's not going to happen
That's
until
the
Jesus
heritage
returns?
of my people.
So it's not going to happen until the Messiah comes.
It's going to happen when he returns, and we're preparing for it right now. You know how we prepare? We turn back to our culture and our heritage and our records. And unlike the Nazis and everyone else that you said, what that does for our people is it makes us not only be criminals anywhere, but it teaches us to love each other.
Where in the
It
Bible
teaches
does it
us
talk
to
about
not- Let me
records?
finish. Hold your peace.
Go ahead.
It teaches us to love each other. It teaches us to not commit crimes. It teaches us to make sure that our families are together. It teaches young brothers to not shoot each other,
I
to
agree
not
with all
steal
that.
cars.
Yeah.
You
That
do,
sounds
but
great.
yes, and that's what we're doing. And
That
that
sounds
is
great.
done by giving us our identity so that we stop idolizing the other nations of people. That's why the first step
I
is
agree
to
with all that.
separate.
But when you start combating that by idolizing yourselves, then you're just repeating the cycle.
I'm not idolizing myself. We just obeying what God says.
You believe you're the superior race.
When you turn
That's the
on,
same problem.
No, it's not the same problem because he wasn't the superior race. Having to murder everybody and steal from them to make you superior is not superior.
That's
that makes
right.
you an animal.
That's right.
See, what you're confused about is what you have been experiencing.
That's
What
right.
the world has seen is madmen and murderers staking claim to something that they are really not.
That's right.
Because even after centuries of slavery,
Why are black
everybody
people
is
superior?
benefiting
So why-
from the inventions that the slaves made, who had their language stripped, their identity stripped.
Yeah.
You're saying here we go because you don't care.
You keep saying identity.
You don't
Sure,
care.
it says nothing in the Bible about
You're
that. First
holding.
off.
It
It
says
says
nothing about where.
about taking your culture back and all this stuff.
It doesn't say that in the Bible.
But then
Are
what
you
is-
sure?
What is it?
Are
gonna-
you sure it
No, I'm
doesn't
not
say
sure.
that in the Bible?
I'm not sure.
Well, how can
I'm
you
not
make
sure.
you make a lot of statements
Because you
without
keep talking
proof.
about culture and records.
Because
and
I'm
it's like-
for the culture and the records of my people. It may not matter to you because you can pretend to be an Asian, but my people,
Okay.
it matters to us.
That's
It may
right.
not matter to you, but it matters to my people who are Mexicans, who are Dominican, who are Haitian, who are Puerto Rican,
Me.
who are
Me,
black, who are
apparently.
Afro-American.
So I'm one of you,
Well,
apparently, yeah.
little brother, listen, because
That's
I'm
right.
a teacher.
Okay.
Right.
It matters.
How old are you, by the way?
It does matter. I'm 10,000. That's how old I am.
That's right.
10,000
That's
years
a captain
old.
of 10,000. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
most important age you need to know.
Great.
That's right.
You
What
understand?
separates black people from not committing the same crimes that the former superior races that made you the victim?
Once our people
How are you not gonna
return-
do that?
How people return to our identity, and that's what we teach our people to do.
Return your identity how? It's like you're
By
10,000 years
obeying,
old?
by obeying,
By wearing the sparks on your head and the lion and
statutes,
cowboy shoes?
commandments. You recognize that, don't you? By representing the culture that the God who created everything gave to His chosen people. That's how you fix everything. The problem is the people
you're saying
that are
following
the
God's
problem-
commandments,
The problem
essentially, correct?
is the people that are in charge are the wrong people.
So you should be in charge.
Absolutely,
Okay. Who are your favorite black leaders?
absolutely.
That's
Who
not
is my
it.
favorite black
Yeah.
leader? Christ.
right.
He's the most important black leader of all time.
Where was Jesus from?
Jesus was from Nazareth.
Okay. And he
He
was
was in
black.
the Middle East.
Jesus
Not
was
only
black.
was he black, but all the disciples, the apostles, and prophets in the Bible were black.
They're all black.
The problem is that during the Renaissance period, the
Jesus was
oppressor
black.
painted his own pictures.
Sure.
Would you like me to read the scripture?
Not really.
The problem
Do you
is
believe
most
Jesus
of the
was
world
God?
doesn't know
Was Jesus
the
God?
Bible. Jesus Christ was a black man born in the ghetto of Nazareth.
The ghetto.
That's John 1:45.
He was
You
in
can
the
read
hood?
it for yourself.
Okay. He was gangbanging?
Absolutely. He was in the ghetto.
He was crip walking.
It was a terrible place.
Yes.
It was a terrible
Was
community.
Jesus God?
Jesus was not God. He said it himself several times.
Okay.
He said, the Father is greater than I.
So he's the
I
Son
go
of
to the
God.
Father to create
Was
a
he the
place
Son
for
of God?
you. He was the Son of God. That's correct.
So God's black.
God is absolutely black. It's in the Bible. If
Can I
you'd
ask
like
you
to
a
read it.
question?
God's
Hold on,
black.
wait a minute. Is it a problem God being black?
God doesn't have a skin color.
Is it a problem God being black?
It's not a problem. It's just not what's true.
You seemed very disappointed when I said God was black. You turned around. Here we go again.
No, because
is there a problem? What's wrong with God being black? Do you love black people?
Wait, then how are black?
Okay, this is of course I love black people.
Well, why can't God be black? You seemed so disappointed a second ago.
Why would God, the Almighty Creator, have a skin color?
How did you get a skin color?
God created us.
So God creates skin color, but people, he don't have one.
Yeah, God created the trees too. He's not a tree. That's a stupid argument.
It's a stupid argument?
Yes, just because he created skin doesn't mean he has it. You're saying to not worship and idolize whiteness and not worship everything. You're doing the same thing.
I didn't say whiteness.
You're embodying the same racist
the Arabs,
ideology.
the Africans, the East Indians, all the other nations of people. My people are in everyone's culture because everyone got together and got rich off of exploiting us to make sure we didn't have ours. That's why we teach our people our heritage. And that does not make us burn crosses on lawns. That doesn't make us lynch people.
Do you all believe God's black?
That doesn't make us fight. That doesn't make us harm anyone.
Do you believe God's black?
It fixes our people. Stay focused. You talking to me? Stay focused.
Brother, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is that what you believe, really?
What's your question?
Okay.
According to the Bible, see, we believe what's in the Bible.
Wait,
we believe what's in the Bible. Is there a problem believing what's in the Bible? What's your question?
Can we have like a chill conversation? Because I'm not amped up.
I'm pretty chill.
Okay.
I'm chill.
We can do some deep breathing.
I'm chill.
Okay.
I'm all right.
So do you think in America right now that black people are discriminated against?
The foundation of America is discriminated against black people.
Because if I tried to go to the NBA...
And just real quick, and when we say black people... No, we're not done. I'm listening to you. When we say black people, we are talking... I just want to clarify. We are talking about so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Please, go ahead.
So my question is...
You're all right.
Here's my question. Is, are black people discriminated against in America?
Absolutely.
So then, like, what about
Native
if
Americans
I tried to go to the NBA? I'd be discriminated against.
To the NBA?
To the NBA or to be a rapper. Like, is LeBron James discriminated against? Or
are you
Michelle
a better rapper than the rest of the rappers? Are you a better ball player? Are you okay? Let's use your example.
Or is that racism?
No, that's not racism because white Jewish men control the entire rap industry. Now we don't want to talk about it. You understand? That's not what racism is. You understand? The banks, the entertainment industry, the diamond district, the insurance company are all controlled by our oppressors. So if there's a problem that you have with how your people are treating you, you can't blame black people who are at the bottom. If 90% of the NBA is filled with black people and 100% of the owners are white people, how can you blame black people who are by the thousands applying for a job that only about 50 people can get every year? How can you then blame the people who are showing up to get a job? And that is the idea of the racist and prejudiced mentality, thinking that everything is nice and equal and fair. And that lie is what America teaches. That's not true. You have to have power in order to be racist. Black people can't put anyone out of the NBA. Black people can't make people not be rappers. The record labels are controlled by CEOs and multi-billionaires. Leor Cohen, not our people. You understand? But of course, when you bring out the facts, you bring out details and have evidence, nobody wants to hear the evidence. Really? They don't actually love black people. They don't love blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. They just have nice words. You understand? So that's it. All right.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're one